Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make the half double crochet stitch. This is a stitch I see a lot of times in hats. It is a nice halfway point between the single crochet and the double crochet. Makes a really nice tight fabric. So we're going to make a slip knot 4 to 6 inches from the end. I think mine might be a little bit longer than that. That's okay. I'm using a plain worsted weight yarn here in a color that's easy to see, and I have my trusty H hook here. I have it contrasted to my yarn so that it doesn't all blend together. So we're going to put our slip knot on the hook and snug it up. We want it to be able to move. We don't want it strangling the hook. And then we're going to make a chain. Because we're doing a half double crochet, we need to do 2 extra stitches than the number of stitches that we want. So I'm going to do a 10 stitch sample, which means that I need 12 chain stitches. Okay, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and because the half double crochet has some height to it, we are going to skip the first 2 chains. We have 1, 2. We're going to work in this stitch here, the 3rd one. Alright, to make the half double crochet, it's yarn over. Remember, it goes over like a waterfall towards you. 1, 2, we're going in the 3rd. So we insert the hook into this stitch and we yarn over. We pull up 1 loop. So now we have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through all 3. Alright, you can see that stitch is kind of elongated, that chain, so we can see that we worked it. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go in the one right next to it and work in that one. And then we're yarn over again. It kind of just lays over the hook. We're going to pull it through and yarn over, pull through 3. Now at this point I am going to stop and I am going to put a stitch marker in the first one that we did. Now with half double crochet, sometimes the chain counts, sometimes it doesn't. It will say in your pattern what they want you to do. So for our demonstration purposes, I am going to not count the chain. Let's see if I can get this in there. Okay, so I have it marking our first stitch. This will come in handy when we come back. Alright, so we're going to continue on. Yarn over. We work this chain. We're going to go into this one. Stick our hook in. Yarn over. It just is laying over the hook. Bringing up a loop. So now we have 3. Yarn over and pull through all 3. So we're going to do that to the end. Yarn over into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. And we're going to do that clear down the line. Need some more yarn there. It's always best to keep some pulled off of the ball. It keeps your tension a little nicer. All right, end of the line here. Now we're going to go back through and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. Now we're going to chain 2 that tail. Just be careful you don't work the tail. Chain 2 because we need the height. I like to think of it as stairs. We need the height to go back the other way. So I chain 2 and then I turn, and we're going to work a half double into that last stitch that we did. At this point I am going to grab another stitch marker. There's all different kinds. There's one. And I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the first stitch that we made. It's a little fiddly, but one of the most common questions that I have, or that I get rather, is how do I know where to begin and end my rows? And for a beginner, it can be tricky to know where your beginning and end is. So if we mark them with these little stitch markers, then we don't have to worry about where's my end, because it'll be marked for us. See, on this row, it's marked. That's our end. So we're going to go through. I have my yarn over. We're going to work our way in each stitch. You can tell it's a stitch. These V's on top. We want to go straight through both loops there. There are patterns that will say go in the front loop. So up here we've got front loop, back loop. So if it says front loop, and then yarn over and pull it through, and you get, when you come back, it makes like a little ridge. And the same with back loop. I'll just do another front loop here, just so you can see the effect on the reverse side. I'll do a couple. So there's front loop. So you've got a little ridge there compared to these ones that were through both. And then we'll go through the back loop. Just picking that back loop there. And you can see there's a bit of a ridge on this side. Oops. Alright, so we're at our marker. This is the last stitch that we need to work in the row. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go through both loops. Okay, and then we'll take that out, and then we can get ready for the next row. So chain 2, turn, we're ready, we're set up for this row, yarn over, and the last stitch that we worked, that we made, was where we're going to work into first. Okay, we're going to move our marker, we're going to stick it in that first stitch. So it's all ready, it's set up. We can work across. Alright, I'm going to go kind of fast, so hold on to your hats. Okay, we're at our marker, so we can pull it out. We can see that last stitch there. Okay, so every couple rows I like to double check that I have the correct number. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Our marker is in the last one, and that's 10. And it should, as we keep going, it should be very, very straight. So 2, and then we're going to work one stitch in that last stitch that we made. Okay. Gotta get more yarn here. And then we just work across, and I'm working rather quickly so that you can see the beginning and ending of each row. You can always go backwards to the beginning to see the stitch executed slowly. Alright, we're to the marker. And do one stitch. You can even leave the marker in until you've made the first stitch on your row. I think it's very important to know for sure your beginning and endings. I'll just slip that on. And you can use anything for stitch markers. I like these little split rings, but you can see I have these, they lock, which is kind of cool. You can use safety pins. You can use paper clips. I've even, you know, in a desperate move, I've used paper clips. And we're just going to work across again. And this is just a practice swatch. You can make it as big or small as you like. I think this will be the last row that I work on. And I'll show you how to finish it off. So we're at our last one, and then because this is just a swatch, I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. My handy pair of scissors. And we want to make sure and keep our tails fairly long. So snip it off, and then we take this end and we put it through the loop. Okay, and then we're going to pull it. And it's not going to go anywhere. You can take out any stitch markers you used. Ta-da! You can see that area where I did the front and back loops. It gives a little bit of texture there. So I just want you to keep practicing until you're confident and your stitches are nice and even. You can see how mine are evenly spaced. They're about the same size. That's really what you're looking for with crochet, is you want very even and consistent stitching.